So Oklahoma Bridges here, and I'm back, and as you can see, the piano action is back in the case, and the linkages are connected up here that are connected to the player mechanism. You can see the treble hammers going soft, loud, soft, loud. The bass hammers going soft, loud, obviously the same way. I went ahead and reinstalled the block that brings vacuum up to the stack, and it looks like, other than tuning, it looks like everything is in good functional order. So I'm happy with the way that's turned out. So now it's time to turn attention again to the player mechanism, and I'm focusing my efforts on the upper part of the player mechanism at the moment. And as you can see, I've done some cleaning on it. You don't see all that white stuff that was visible in the first video on everything anymore. A little bit of oil soap and elbow grease has cleaned it up real nice. It looks very presentable. I'm not sure what kind of wood this is, but it's finished in sort of that ebonized finish that you see the black mantle clocks finished in, giving it the appearance that it's made out of slate. So amongst the things to do here are to do a little bit of cleaning up on the air motor, and I ran the air motor using the shop vac, and it works. So good. Need to clean these brake bands a little bit so that the drag is just right, and need to do a little bit of work on probably the valve units behind this board here. I did put the roll back on it that came with it and applied vacuum back here, and I had more notes trying to strike than what there were holes in the paper to be striking. In fact, I had the roll over the hole where there were no hole, tracker bar holes where there were no holes in the paper at all, and still had quite a few notes try to strike, which indicates to me I've got some valves leaking by, because it's allowing vacuum into the pouches to pull them, to collapse them to strike a note. When I showed you the action in the other video, I showed you the little felt spots where the player mechanism operates. Now, you can see those on the whippings there. These are the little adjuster screws that actually do the playing, that strike the individual notes, and they're mounted on little linkages here. You can see them all. They're not even right now because they're sitting on this table here like it is. And you can see they're now nice and even. So this is the back side of the player mechanism. We have the back side of the air motor, the back side of the tracker bar with all the presumably lead tubing leading to each valve. And we have the valve mechanism for the automatic tracking system. And actually, that's quite a sophisticated little piece of machinery there. If I grab a piece of paper I printed off the internet here. Oops, this isn't it actually. That's not that. Never mind. Anyway, there's quite a bit going on in here. If you was to look this up, There's some valves in here. This is the vacuum supply to this. And then what this does is, when there's a roll in here, the roll's held in place against this spring, so it forces this over against this piece right here. And this is a cam. As you can see, it's got an angle to it. And that's controlled by this bellow system over here. So these two holes here and these two holes here control the side-to-side tracking of the paper roll as it runs across the tracker bar. And pretty neat. Can't wait to see that in operation. So my next step is going to be to take these screws out and take this off and probably clean all the dust and debris out of there, and also just check everything out, make sure it all looks okay. There's also some dust filters under this plate that need to be checked and cleaned also, and so I'll do that. And I'll have to get a new vacuum line to go from here to there. You can see there's also a vacuum line here for the they call it the loud pedal. We normally would call that the sustain pedal, but this hole in the tracker bar operates the sustain pedal. And you have a lever here where you have the option of it being automatic, where the holes in the paper will operate the sustain, or manual. And in manual mode, this button right here labeled loud operates the sustain pedal, since when you're using the piano, the pump treadles are unfolded out and you can't reach the two pedals at the bottom. So you actually get a little bonus because you get 3 pedals, because you get to do the bass and treble of the piano separately. So just a little update on what's going on with the old Kohler and Campbell player piano here. See the tracker, the player mechanism has cleaned up real nice. Still need to do a little bit of detailing on it. Probably need to take this all apart and clean and lube it and clean the wood back behind there real well. And got a little bit of work to do on the valves. But other than that, we are coming along well. And then I should be able to take a look at the other half over here, which is the power supply portion of it. As you can see, I haven't done any cleaning on it yet. It's still got the white stuff on there like the upper part had. These are, of course, the treadles that fold out. You can see the trademark there, standard player action. So all in due time, of course, all in due time. I do plan on electrifying this piano, adding an electric vacuum pump, but I'll still have to have that airtight because the vacuum source from the electric pump ties into the reservoir there and will be needed for the tempo controller and the cutout valve, which also need to be looked at. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for further updates on this project.